You want the truth? You can't handle the truth. What was that? Huh. Okay, no. Alright. Gotta read. So, what's up, nobody? I've got a good one for you today. I'm going to talk about truth. And, how you find truth. And I guess I'll start off by saying that you don't. You don't find truth. Truth isn't something that needs to be sought. It's not something that is out there, that you need to look for. Because, this is gonna get into things that I've never thought about. Because up until this point, I called myself a truth seeker. And now, it's like, I don't know, I guess I'll get into it. So I banged out a page on the small notebook real quick an hour or so ago when I was feeling inspired. So it goes like this. Choose to accept the truth, or don't. It's all up to you. Just know, if you choose not to and live in ignorance, nothing good will come of it. You will become blind to all that is beautiful, and the further you stray, the harder it will be to ever return to the light. Truth. Truth is the light that shines even in the greatest darkness. You will always have the option to accept the truth. Accept the truth, and it will set you free. That last sentence, accept the truth and it will set you free. I couldn't come up with a last sentence to fill the page until I was on Instagram, after writing it for a bit, and I happened to come across a post talking about truth, and it was saying that the truth will set you free, something about that, and I was just like, damn, now that's a synchronicity. That's interesting right there. So I wrote it down. I was like, wow, yeah, that pertains very nicely to what I was just thinking about. Love it when that happens. So let's get into it. What am I trying to say there? I'm not entirely sure, but I think I'm onto something. Truth is not something to be sought after. Instead, it's something that you choose to accept. 100%. The truth is right there in front of your eyes. You can either choose to accept it or not. There's no in between. Like, there's truth and there's lies. And they're both, they're both the same thing, in a sense. And they're both tied to the same center point. And the center point is balance. It's where you find balance. And talking to Gary, starting to think that, well, he said that God is balance. And when we talked about that, it kind of fits, think about it, like, in everything there is balance. But what truth do you need to accept? If you ask yourself that, what would come up? I found out today that I can put the top of my hair up, but it looks so bad. I'll do it though. Ow. Ow. Woo. Let's go. I can't. Let's see. Painting is back there. I guess you can't. There's really no way I could show it on stream unless I do that. That's cool. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I actually like it. I really do. I think it's dope. I think it's fucking dope. I think I like it more than my other one. Just because it feels more like one thing. Whereas the other one, I painted it at two different points in my life. So it's like it's not one thing out of my head. It's just like it's fucking crazy is what it is. Which is fine. Whatever. I like it too. It's cool. But this one, I like this one. I do. I wonder what it would look like if I turned it upside down. Fuck. God damn it. I got it up there before. Why can't I get it up there again? Okay. It's hanging, but I feel like it's going to fall down. We'll just leave it like that for a minute to look at it upside down. Okay, that's weird. That is weird. It looks even more like there's those two eyes right on top. Oh, that's so weird. I don't think I'll leave it like that. Looks too much like something's looking right at you. Like, actually. So, there really isn't any point to seeking the truth. Because there's nothing there to find. Like, you could spend your entire life seeking and looking, like more and more and more, and you'll never be satisfied if that's your goal, is to find the truth. You'll never be satisfied. There will never be enough for you. The only way you can get that is to accept it. Just choose to accept the truth. You don't have to go out there looking for it. You don't have to argue with people. You don't have to do anything besides choose to accept it. And I think that applies to really any truth there is. Whether it's your truth or the truth of this world. It's all right there. You can see it. It's plain as day. There's not much more to it. And, I'm realizing that I wish I was better at coming up with examples right now, because an example would be like, this would be the perfect time to talk about an example. I don't know. Let's maybe Joe Rogan. I don't know if that would go anywhere. Is Joe Rogan like a good guy? Is he someone that is putting forward good information and trying to help people and doing his best to like doing his best? Like, no, plain as day, he's not. And people can argue about that, but it's so clear that if you like if you think that he is doing that, then you're not choosing to accept the truth that he is, he's bought. He is a bought commodity. He's controlled. He doesn't get to say whatever he wants. And he's not trying to help people. He pushes drugs and tells kids to do drugs, and he's probably gay. He does a lot of steroids. That's not good for you. Neither of those two things are good for you. But I don't want to put any blame on Joe Rogan, but he is a main factor in the reason why I started seeking out psychedelics and, mind altering substances. He made me think it was a good idea. 100%. Him and, the guests that he had on that talked about it all the time, like, that was a big reason why I went for it at such a young age. At 18, I thought I was ready to fucking do like hardcore mind altering substances like LSD and mushrooms and edibles. Like high dose edibles are can be just as potent and mind changing as LSD or mushrooms. So I wanted to try all that because I was listening to Joe Rogan a lot at the time, and he was influencing me. And he made it all sound so positive. Like there was something to find there that would help. And I really thought that. I really thought it would be a good idea to go down that road and take those things. I thought it would help me be a better person and understand things. But, at that age, I probably was more just thinking, like, I want to get high and experience this thing that he's talking about, Like, this sounds really cool. Because I was a kid. And kids should not do drugs. It's just too early. Too fucking early. I shouldn't have done it. Goddamn jugs. So, back to the truth. Like I said, if you're seeking the truth, then you're not going to find anything. And you're never going to be satisfied. There's okay, I guess we'll just get into it. Like, take the shape of the earth, for example. What's the truth there? I don't know. And that's really all there is. Like, I don't know what the shape of the earth is. And I don't think anybody does. And if they claim to, then I don't think they are accepting the truth. I think they're living in ignorance. Claiming that we live on a spinning ball with curved water floating in space might be one of the most ignorant things you can say or think. Or, yeah, like I said, claim. So, yeah, say. Like, if you're telling someone that we live on a spinning ball with curved water floating in space, then you're being ignorant. The truth is that we don't know. And we don't know what the moon or the sun is. Sure, you can think that all three of those things are spinning and traveling at thousands and thousands of miles an hour, and they're all like rotating around each other somehow, and just happens in perfect synchronicity, and it's a beautiful system. Like, you can think that, but I don't know, maybe just keep it to yourself. Like, if that is what makes you happy and makes it easier to sleep at night, believing that, then power to you. Got no problem with you. But I'm just saying that I don't know. Well, I mean, yeah, I just said power to you, but I also said like 2 minutes ago that if you claim that and say that, then you're living ignorantly. So, I don't know. There's two sides there. Like, do I just want to let everyone in my life live ignorantly. Granted, I haven't talked about the shape of the earth with anybody in my life besides my dead brother, so there's that. I can like we that can stay in the grave forever. that can I can rest with him, maybe. Maybe I don't need to talk about it with the rest of my family. I don't know. I mean, he definitely thought I was crazy. But at that time when I was talking about that with him, like, I was crazy. So I can understand why he thought that. But okay, here's another example. Black people. Are black people black? No, they're not. Black is not a color. Black is not a race. Black black is the absence 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 of color. Black is the absence of color. It still sounds weird. I don't know. So what are they? Well, they're different shades of brown. They're colored. Are are they African Americans? I mean, the ones that actually came over from Africa, like recently, sure. Yeah, you could call those African Americans, but we can't just call all black people African Americans. Like, that's a misnomer. That's not what they are. That's a false identity that we've given them. We as in, I guess, white people, or who knows, maybe it wasn't just white people, but it probably was. Like, who was here before us? Who was here before all the white people started coming in? And I think it's emigrating, or is it immigrating? You know, one of those two. But they started coming to America. A whole lot of white people. And guess what? There were people here before us. People just like us, but their skin color wasn't white. It was a shade of brown. It was almost more like, they say, copper, like a copper tone. It was like a reddish brown. And they were here before us. They weren't, millions of them weren't shipped here on ships to be slaves. No, they were already here. That's just so fucking obvious, I think. I think it's so obvious that you either have to choose to accept it or live ignorantly and believe that the transatlantic slave trade was an actual thing, that we actually did ship millions of black people across the Atlantic Ocean on these slave ships, and we crammed them all together. And you've probably been fed the misinformation in schools. Pretty much every school does it. You can't avoid it. It's that's why a lot of what's pushed in school is legitimate indoctrination. You're taught to accept a certain story. I think I'm going to switch this back now. Good. Very cool. Love that painting. Absolutely love it. I turn on the light. You can still see the color. I don't know. I like the dark streams. It's a vibe. So what was I talking about? Indoctrination in schools. Apparently, somehow I got there. I guess that's another. That's a truth that you can either accept or not. Like, you can choose to you either accept that when you send your kids to school, to like a public school, that they're being indoctrinated, or you live ignorantly and you think they're getting an education and that it's a good thing for them and that you shouldn't provide them with your own schooling or a different means of education, of like legitimate education. Because, of course, there's something to be said for public school. Like, it does provide structure for a child's life. It does provide community and friendships. And, it's just good for them to socialize and be around people. But, that's about it. You're not getting an education there. You're not. Besides like shop class or woods and metals class, like stuff like that. Sure. Great. That's why, school can still be good. But the truth is that a lot of it is indoctrination. And if you don't provide them with a means of real education on top of that, then that's all they're going to have in the end is just what the school told them to think. And then, later on down the line in their life, like some of them will, wake up. Not everybody. Not everybody's going to wake up. I don't think so. People like to say there's going to be a great awakening or that we're in a great awakening. But, even so, if that is the case, like there's always going to be normies. There's always going to be people that don't wake up. And that's probably for the best. Because that way our society and everything we've got going will continue to keep going. Not everything is just going to crash and burn. But at the same time, the people that do wake up have the choice to opt out. They'll have the choice to take a different path and, create their own trail, build something of their own. Or, just live differently. Accept the truth. Whereas a lot of people will not. They will follow the path that has been created for them for their entire life. And they'll reach the destination that has already been set for them. They won't have to branch off. They won't have to find their own way. And it's easier that way. Creating your own path isn't for everybody because it can be really hard and it can be a struggle or it is a struggle. You will struggle and suffer, but in the end, it's for the best. You will come out of it a better person. I do believe that. But I don't necessarily think there's anything wrong with staying on the path that's been laid out for you. Like, there's plenty of people that have done it, and they're not bad people because of it. Like, that's just what they chose to do. But some people don't want that. Some people want to make the choice to get off the trail. I was taking a hike through the woods, or yeah, yeah. I was taking a hike through the woods the other day, and there was trails, and I would follow them at times. If I wanted to get to a certain destination, like I went to a specific outlook, so I followed the trail to that spot. but there was other times where I didn't wanna just follow the trail. I just, took a hard turn and, just walked right up a hill, something like that. I just wanted to go my own way. And I was thinking these thoughts, like, how life is, you know, in life you can choose to either follow the trail that's been there for a long time. It's a it's a well-traveled path. Like, you can look at people that have already taken that road and you can see where it leads. But like I said, that's not for everybody. Some people don't want to know what the destination is. Some people want a little more out of life. They want adventure. They don't necessarily want to know where they'll end up. But that's not for everybody. So, so what's my truth that I need to accept? That's what I have to wonder now. That's what I have to try to be aware of. What are the things that I'm ignorant about? What are the things that I'm ignoring and not accepting? I wonder. But asking the question, I hope that the answers will come in time. That's always it. Like, you don't always have the answers right away. Sometimes you've got to ask the question and let it sit for a bit. You know, maybe a day, maybe a couple days, maybe a week, however long it takes. But just ask the question, put it out there, and then wait and hope that the answer will come along. And usually it does. Usually, almost all the time, if you ask the question and have it in your head, the answer will come. Maybe not in the way you expect. Maybe not, maybe it's not the answer you want, but the answer will come. You'll find it. Or, you'll see it eventually. Because I kind of think that the truth is what you can see. The truth is, you know, you can't argue with the truth. It's not something that you can deny. Like, you can. Like, that's what I said in the beginning, like, or don't, or accept choose to accept the truth or don't. Dot dot dot. See where it gets you. Because I don't think it'll get you any place good. I don't think there's any good to be found in not accepting the truth. You'll find something, but more likely than not, it's going to be bad. It's going to be ugly and disgusting. But then you're going to have to live with it. You're going to have to live with that darkness. And the darker it gets, the harder it becomes to accept the truth. Maybe. Maybe it gets easier to accept the truth. I don't know. But the recovery gets harder. That's for sure. Recovering from that darkness after accepting the truth, that's what's really hard. That takes time because, you know, you'll have PTSD. Because really, what you're doing by choosing to not accept the truth is putting yourself through trauma. That darkness is traumatizing. Whether you're aware of it or not, like, it's bad and it affects your world, like your inner world. You become like it gets world. Get it? Like WHIRLED, world. And I know that that's kind of like it's a little bit of a truth bomb too. World and world. Like just the word world. WORLED or WORLD. Why do we call it a world? Maybe it's because we're all whirling around and we're all confused. We're all in the whirl. Or maybe we're in some other internal world. But yeah, we all have our own internal thoughts or our internal world is something that it can feel so real, but you know, it's not. It's just what's in your head. And whatever is in your head is not necessarily what's in reality. And that's That just goes to say that, like, you can't create reality based off what's in your head. You can't create reality by thinking and, just like manifesting. Like that's just like Satanism and thinking that you have the power to create your own reality. And but I mean there's some truth to it too. Like you can create your own reality inside your head, but like I was saying, that's not actually real. That's not what, like, you can't change the external world based on your internal world. But you can change the external world based on what you do, your actions, what you choose to actually do. Like that can change things. But just thinking, that won't that won't do anything. Damn, I'm kind of tired. I still wish I could like talk in the morning, kind of, instead of at night. Because then I wouldn't be tired, obviously. I wouldn't I wouldn't have to wait all day to, and like, I don't know. There's good parts about it too. Like I can, you know, go through my day and sometimes I'll think about something I'll want to talk about. I mean, a lot of the time I don't. A lot of the time I just come to this not knowing whatever the fuck I'm going to talk about. But, you know, earlier today I was thinking about what the truth is, or, you know, how to find it, but you don't. And I was like, yeah, I think I want to talk about that. So I did. So like there's some positives. But I still think I in the future I want to try talking in the morning. In the morning with my coffee. Even though that means, oh yeah, I don't know. That cuz when I drink coffee is usually when I uh have to take a shit. Not to get nasty here, but a lot of the times I like to drink coffee in the morning so that I can go to the bathroom because you know, it's how my body works. Or maybe I just need to eat better. I don't fucking know. But I don't think I want to get off coffee. Since I'm not smoking weed, I feel like that would be kind of too much. Like not get my coffee or weed. Like, oh my God, seriously? So of course, coffee is a drug. I realize that. I am addicted to it 100%. I just don't think I want to cut out everything like that. Like, I still want something to enjoy. Maybe I could cut back to like every other day. I know there's benefits to that. I've tried it before and I didn't mind it. I definitely felt like I got more out of my coffee when I did that. And it's definitely, gives you something to gives you something to look forward to. But I don't know if I even want to imagine like going to work and not having coffee to drink there. Like that just sounds so sad. That sounds so sad because coffee is a big part of like what gets me through the first half of the day. And even in the second half of the day, like I'll drink another big thing of coffee after lunch. So that gets me through another while. And without all that coffee, like, oh, I don't know what I'd do. I just, I don't know if I could take it. Realistically, like, that just sounds terrible. Absolutely terrible. I'll probably have to try it sometime, but I don't know if I want to try it tomorrow. Like, I drank a lot of coffee today. That's why I'm saying that. So, like, maybe I should not drink any tomorrow, but that's rough. I don't know if I want to go to work tomorrow with no coffee. I might hate myself if I do that. I remember one time I went like a couple weeks without drinking coffee, and then I drank some, and I literally got high off that shit. Like it was a great feeling. It was euphoric. It was like it sent me to like another level. I was definitely high. Without weed, just the coffee. I was high. And that's when you realize what it actually is. Like it is a drug. It does affect your mood and the way you think and perceive things like 100%. And I know there's science behind that, like lots of it. Like coffee alters the way you interact with what you're doing. I think I was listening to like a Huberman episode about that at one point. How like it doesn't necessarily make you more awake, but it does, make you engage with whatever you're doing more. So in that way, like you can feel more alert or awake when you're drinking it because you're focusing on whatever you're doing more. You're more engaged. So I don't know. And I feel like there was something else I was going to talk about, but I don't remember. So, I guess I'm just going to be done here because that was a solid hour. Don't be a bitch.